the whole concept is just about just taking your time in life, like whatever your journey is, whatever your relationships, your friendships, your career, whatever the case may be. I think that You've Got Time is something that resonates with people our age, at least. They be thinking like, I don't have enough time, or I'm too old, or just take your time through your journey.
Yep.
What up, though, Black Fridays family? Welcome to another installment of the Black Fridays podcast. We got family in the building. We got Tish and we got Shaun Carlo in here of No Politics. What up, though?
What up, though?
Happy to have y'all finally on the podcast. This has been something I've been waiting on for a while, just as far as y'all coming out with a new project, which we'll get into later, and then also having both of you on here. So Shaun has been on the Instagram version, and then we finally got Tish to come outside. So
finally,
we're gonna dig deep and get into some questions here. So, but first, I want to ask you both to, if you can, intro No Politics, and how did you all decide to musically start working together?
You gonna take it?
Go ahead.
Musically came first before No Politics. We just used to freestyle in the car with our homies. We had already been friends for like 3 or 4 years, and like we were just messing around, and we ended up freestyling one day at a Jay-Z, after a Jay-Z and Eminem concert. That was the first time I had ever heard Tish rap, and it was sweet. So we was just having some fun with it, and then like a year later, long story short, we ended up really trying to rap, and the rest is just kind of history. We just ask friends and ask people who now have a newfound hobby that we could collaborate on together. We just started rapping, and kind of rapped individually but together, same crew, for years, and we decided in like 2016 or 17 to make it like an official group, because it was just Shaun Carlo and Tish,
for the longest.
For the longest. But No Politics came about in like 2017.
Yeah.
And what's the meaning behind No Politics?
You want to take it? I can keep going.
So as like, I feel like as individuals, individual artists, we just noticed that there was just a lot of politics in just like everything that you do. So we are just like artists who like to just keep things raw. We know that we're talented despite what politics there might be in the game or whatever the case may be. So it was like, we kind of like that, like no politics, like,
Yeah.
And I'm curious, I never got a chance to ask you all this because we had several conversations throughout the years. When I thought about it on the way here, I think I probably known y'all for, it might be like over 10 years at this point, or close to 10 years. It's definitely been a minute, but I'm curious. So during that entire time, you all have been independent artists, correct?
Correct.
So as far as not wanting to play that whole politics that goes in the radio, goes into the music industry, things like that, what do you feel like are some of the important factors to support you both as independent artists in order to like keep your integrity in that regard, and like your whole messaging of no politics, and not having to play those ghetto games, as a friend of mine likes to call it, in the industry and with people?
I mean, I think just naturally as people, I think that's kind of just our general characters to do, what's right, what has integrity. And it's just a part of our characters as individuals to not really
no lies in our
dabble
raps.
in something inauthentic. It's like, it's
no cap in your rap.
No cap in our raps. But yeah, we also like, we largely in it for the art. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't like, naturally I like wanted to be a rapper, or had the idea like, oh, maybe one day I could be a rapper, but it wasn't anything that like I seriously pursued. We kind of stumbled upon it as friends, and we've always kept that kind of first. So you know what I'm saying, it was never really like a huge financial interest in it, so we just kind of kept that going.
And I come from like, my family is in music. Like my dad was a producer, managed artist. My uncle was a part of the Almighty Dreadnoughts, was just like an underground hip hop group or whatever. Like I was kind of molded to really like hip hop and not to kind of like water that down. It's really, like you said, it's just about the art. So yeah, I grew up on that.
Love it. Love it. So speaking of the art, I'm going to introduce y'all to my favorite part of Black Fridays, which is Freestyle Fridays. And I'm thinking about doing it, since this is a special episode, y'all special guests, I'm thinking about doing it a little differently. I want to know if y'all actually got some bars for Freestyle Friday. I'm curious if we might be able to get 4 to 8 bars for Freestyle Fridays, but I'll give you an out. We can go that route, or you can do Freestyle Fridays normally, and I got some rapid fire questions.
Let me tell y'all, I do not freestyle anymore. When we first started, I used to love freestyling. Like, I was super competitive, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really wanted to like hear the oohs and the ahs and like prove myself a little bit. But nowadays, you know, I'm really slow. Like, the way we create has really been organic and like just straight feeling based as opposed to like straight bar heavy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we have. I was thinking about this the other day. I don't really have like a log of like just rhymes that's available. Like I kind of only write on the spot. But I'll tell you this: if we can do the normal Freestyle Fridays, we could put a beat on, and I freestyle legit. If that's fair.
He probably still got bars.
I freestyle, but I might have to warm up a little bit. I don't want to take up too much time. So
for sure.
We can do that though. We can do normal Freestyle Friday, and maybe we can do a back end.
Okay.
Freestyle.
So because I may or may not have the infrastructure for the to put on the instrumental and make sure that it sounds right. We're gonna do the normal. We're gonna do the normal.
Man, we
Freestyle
can play
Friday.
a ghetto though. We can play a ghetto if it don't work.
We can do it. Okay, we can scrap it. Yeah. So just kick off Freestyle Fridays. I would love to know. Well, first thing I'm have you do is I would like for you to compliment your music partner on one of your favorite things about what they bring to the table as far as the group No Politics.
Oh, if I had to compliment Tish on anything, it would be being fearlessly organic. And what I mean by that is I think that I never really know which way Tish is going to approach a track. You know what I'm saying? And she has, like she said, she got a strong musical background, and that come out a lot in her music. And like, I just never know. So like, you know, I always appreciate that because I do what I do, but I like to do what I do. So you know, but with her, she helped keep it fresh for sure.
What I appreciate about Carlo is that he's super consistent. Like, I feel like I lack that. We're opposites. Sometimes we like are the same, but for the most part, you know, we kind of opposite. So like his consistency is honestly what keeps No Politics alive. I really appreciate that. When we first started like being in the studio together, I would take forever to write, or I would just be like, you know, I ain't got a verse today, or whatever the case may be. And he just writing with him kind of has helped my writing skills to just be free and let go, and just, you know, consistency is key. So.
Love it. And then we keep it real on Black Fridays. What is a pet peeve of your musical partner that you do not necessarily care for?
From a musical aspect, like pet peeve,
or it could be business. I mean, obviously, you know what you do is business related as well. Tish
is super duper picky. she's super picky, and like, you know, this doesn't really affect me. In terms of like as an artist, but like, you know, I engineer a lot of the music, so it's like Tish is super picky.
I be hearing
like, she hears everything. She has a very distinct vision that's not always clear to the outside world, but once it happens, it makes sense. Part of that organic, you know, what I was just talking about. That be my pet peeve sometimes. Like, what? Like, you gonna change what?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
I'll be listening to it and I'll be like, dang, he gonna kill me, but man, I gotta say it.
Like, you gotta turn that down 0.3 of a decibel.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Or just I want to say it this way, and she'll come say it some crazy way, and I'll be like, what is this? And then I'll do it, and I'm like, oh, well, you was right.
Sonically, we be different sometimes.
Yeah.
Carlo is slow. He is like a grandpa. He moves so super slow sometimes. I be like, bro, go get the keys. go clean up, go straighten up, go adjust the lights before we leave. He's slow. But other than that, I don't really, you know.
I for sure move in my own
He moved
pace.
like a grandpa for sure.
Yeah, for sure. on a lot of things.
So we are all native Detroiters, born and raised. I want to know what's the most Detroit thing about you. If you had to pick one thing.
The most Detroit thing? The most Detroit thing.
That's hard.
That is hard. I
That's
don't know.
That's a good one.
I know Shaun used to be the Henny guy, so.
I used to love some Hennessy. I did love some Hennessy.
I know the most Detroit thing we're not is that neither one of us own.
I have no Cardis.
No Cardis.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I allegedly have no Cardis.
No Cardis.
The most Detroit thing about me, I don't know. I think I like. I think I kind of talk Detroit when I hear myself, like just like, you know, not necessarily just like up to speed on all the new lingo or whatever, but sometimes I hear myself talking. I'm like, damn. I was in Baltimore at a club and like somebody asked me like, where you from or whatever. I'm like, I'm from Detroit, and she said, oh, you from Detroit? I'm like, yeah, for sure. And she was like, damn, that's it. I can tell. Like, yeah. I'm like, oh, like, you know,
for sure,
and like, you know, but like, you know, listening to some of our stuff and editing our stuff, I kind of hear like the lingo. So I think that's.
I would say, I know Detroiters are really like about their neighborhood. I'm really proud of like my neighborhood. My neighborhood is like my family. You feel me? Like we all grew up together. I would say that's the most Detroit thing about me is that like I love where I came from, like the neighborhood I came from. So, yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And then I know that both of y'all used to play organized sports, specifically basketball, growing up. So I wanted to know if you had to liken your game to a basketball player back then, who would you say you modeled your game after?
Allen Iverson for me, for sure. AI, like even his style, like, you know, like all the way down to the braids and the headbands, 10 different headbands on, armband, wristbands, you know, all of that. Yeah, like all of that. Sleeve. Yeah, you know, all of that. It would be Allen Iverson for sure.
Dope.
I would have liked it to have been Allen Iverson, but it wasn't. That was my favorite player. That's not who I patterned after though. I patterned my game after Jason Kidd. Like that's how I've always been able to play. Right. Yeah, like just kind of slower pace, facilitator. You know what I'm saying? Can swing. Mike can hit an open shot, but don't come to me if you need a bucket. Do not.
Yeah, and I'm definitely skipping practice for sure.
And there it is.
Yeah.
And I want to know, what hobbies have y'all picked up recently or that you currently have outside of course music and anything else that you do? What hobbies you got going on?
I like being in the yard. Like I'm such an old lady. Like I love gardening. I love just cutting the grass. Like I like being outside. I like using my hands too. So I'm really into like DIY anything.
Mrs. Fix It.
Yeah, like I try it one good time. You know, put up a light. All of that.
Tish family will build everything for an event down to the chairs.
Build a house from scratch. Just cause.
Sewed the tablecloth.
I got it honest, man. My mom's side of the family, like they are very hands on. Like worked on cars, houses, whatever the case may be.
Her mom's
like
the truth.
They get it
done. For me, I'd probably say running. Like I've always been, you know, into sports and like athletics and stuff, but I never liked to run. And over the pandemic, all the gyms was closed. Couldn't get any equipment. I'm like, shit, what I'm gonna do? The homies was like, y'all wanna train for a half marathon? I'm like, what? Like, yeah, all right, whatever. And we ended up doing it, and I just never stopped running. So like now, like that's just implemented into my working out now, which is, you know, bad for the knees, good for the cardio. So.
Dope. Are you like the new Detroit? You come downtown and run on the Riverwalk and stuff like that?
I'm a neighborhood runner.
Okay.
Pause.
Hey, yo.
Bro, every now and then he'll do a wild pause. Like, who was even thinking of that?
Oh, that was perfect.
Like,
I wasn't even thinking like that. But that was perfect.
Yo, that's crazy. Yeah. Can't say that's crazy. That's
wild. Well, congrats to y'all. Y'all successfully passed Freestyle Fridays. Almost fumbled at the end, but y'all, we
got it together.
We made it happen.
Sometimes you gotta collect yourself.
Exactly. So I would love to go back into learning more about the music. So You've Got Time. You all just dropped a new project recently. So if you could tell us about the process, how that came about, and the premise behind the project itself, the music.
The whole concept of You Got Time, we actually kind of stumbled across that a little later in our process. We've been working on this for, is it about a year now, or a little over a year?
A little over about a year and 2 months.
Yeah. So it started out as something else. We ended up after gathering all of the songs for the project and listening to it, and just stuff was just happening organically a little bit, like how we were writing and what we were writing about it ended up just happening, and You've Got Time was a title that we came up with probably later as well.
Literally a month ago.
Yeah.
Literally a month ago.
Yeah. But just the whole concept is just about just taking your time in life, whatever your journey is, whatever your relationships, your friendships, your career, whatever the case may be, I think that You've Got Time is something that resonates with people our age, at least, they be thinking I don't have enough time, or I'm too old, or, just take your time through your journey.
Yeah.
And I noticed, as far as the overall premise of not only this project but then other projects, y'all will have homies that will, and I know they telling y'all this in real life too, but y'all incorporate it into the project, and somebody be like, man, where y'all been at? What's been going on? Y'all been taking y'all time and moving slow, or whatever it is. How does y'all real life experience with developing projects and your own music journey, how did that play into the creation of this, and knowing some people can release projects every year, only every 6 months sometimes, but it may be a lapse in terms of when you might do the next project. So how have you all kind of balanced that, and then how did that tailor into the overall premise when you formed it for You've Got Time?
That's a great question. I think like we said earlier, authenticity is really at the forefront of everything we do. So I think with this particular project, I remember specifically we started in March, off the rip, one of our mentors, the president, Chris Walker, had ended up passing away just suddenly, you know what I'm saying? And that kind of shifted us out of a tone, because we was kind of in the R&B bag. That kind of shifted, you know what I'm saying? I had a couple other losses at that time, just kind of shifted the music to a more soulful, realistic feel. And I think that things just kept happening last year that just kept getting progressively crazier and crazier, and it reflected in the music,
real life things.
Yeah, for sure. Real, very real. Last 15 months have been incredibly tough. And I produce, I make all the beats, we produce it together. So that kind of just came out naturally, and that's what we worked with, and that's kind of how we do it. With the last one, We Made It Back Home, it was just the first full-length project that we had. So we kind of used that premise of, we back rapping to whatever, and We Made It Back Home was the title. We kind of wanted it to feel like you were in a neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? With this one, You Got Time, it's kind of just more so the messages about the weight that maturity can put on you, that, you know what I'm saying, we wanted to hone in on.
Yeah, and our friends definitely
Yeah.
call us.
Yeah.
Call us, cuss us out, all of that, you know what I'm saying? Thirst, who is on the
Shout out to Thirst.
On the album. He's on both albums.
Roy Duffy.
Yeah, Roy Duffy. My bad. Roy Duffy. He, just like he does on the projects, he calls us, and he has those conversations with us.
We can't be together and he call either one of us. Yeah. And if he does, that's pretty much the conversation verbatim.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, so that's that. Hopefully, I think we answered that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure. And speaking of y'all community and those friends who will tap in with y'all, and I know you got friends that you work with creatively that comes up with ideas. I know that, like you said, you have thirst that will call you and be like, what y'all on? Like, what's something got to happen, something got to shake. How do y'all tap into y'all community in order to do what it is that you do from music perspective, from business? I know community is big for both of y'all, just knowing y'all, but how do y'all kind of like tap into that resource?
Well, whenever we run the music by the homies, at a certain point, like 80% in, we are like, we play it, like, what y'all think, and they give us a feedback.
Because honestly, throughout our process, they might not even know we making music.
Yeah, a lot of people just assume we just y'all gave up? Like,
right.
Like that's always a conversation. Like, damn. Like,
I'm like, oh, y'all dropping music? Okay.
Like,
You'll literally be in the studio.
Project.
Yeah, I've been rapping for the past 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, but I mean, that's kind of expected, given that we're not really active on social media either. Like we really live it. You know what I'm saying? Like not like, yeah, we really live it, really out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, like we really are living, gathering experiences, and then we, you know what I'm saying, reflected in the music. So yeah, but as far as like how our community helps in that way, whenever we got something going down, everybody always come out, support us, show love. Group chat really helps. We group chat legends. And
definitely.
Just keep the energy good. Really, it's about energy. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the best thing about our community. Like, we keep good energy, keep everybody uplifted, and go from there.
And as y'all probably already know, I've been fans of y'all since y'all earlier projects, but always count me in for some good peer pressure, because I was messaging Tish not too long ago, and I saw y'all had dropped some content, and I'm like, yeah, okay, this is cool, where the music at? And she like, be cool, like, I'm on the way, and I'm like, yeah, okay, sure it is. Like, and then 2 days later, got a whole project.
Asking you shall receive.
And I was excited about that. So shout out to y'all finally getting this out, and then being able to explore this next endeavor as far as this particular project. And I want to ask, how would you say this is different from the previous or the first full-length No Politics project that you all did? And I know that you mentioned there were some real life things that happened that influenced this music, but like from where you were then to where you are now, like what's some of the differences in the music?
I feel like then we really put a hard deadline on ourselves, and like whatever we have finished, we're just gonna, we're not going past this deadline. Like with this one, we really took our time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've got time really was the mantra.
Sure. For sure.
So we took our time with this. I think with the last project, we just wanted to put something out. Yeah. We had a plan to put out several projects in a year, and we didn't make it. So it was like, you know what I'm saying? We can't keep sitting on the music. Like, let's just put it out. But with this, we cooked.
Yeah, I think that, and I think just stylistically, I mean, like, our approach kind of changed too. Like, we just got more comfortable, because like I say, we weren't really a group for a long time. We just worked together, like, it's my sister, so whatever. But I'll be in the studio, she may be there, like, hey, I got a joint for you, or type deal. But like this, We Made It Back Home was like not the first time, well, not really.
No, not really.
But it was after a layoff. That was our first time really like locking in together. Like, yo, this is what we're gonna do. And I think just after doing that, we developed a good chemistry, and I think we become a little bit more open and receptive, and we trust each other a little more. So it's not like, what you got?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? What you got? It's like, I got this.
That's literally how we used to write.
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, it as I'm an artist, and I'm sensitive with my. You know what I'm saying? Like, but to let your walls down and pause again, and and share and be willing to like work on this together. I think that's the biggest difference.
Like, to actually be a group, it's really it's easy, but it's hard. You know what I'm saying? We have to figure out how to mesh. We have to figure out like how to. You got this and I got that. You know what I'm saying? How can we make this work together?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And then what about the business aspect of it that you do? Because obviously you're both creatives, you're both very good at what it is that you do. So I'm sure that comes a lot more natural and easy than, the business things that kind of come with it. So how do y'all feel like y'all work together as far as like an overall business relationship?
I think it's pretty good. We actually took a pause from music to pursue our own business with Bridge Fall Studio. So we were doing corporate events and just literally any and everything from weddings to baby showers.
Visual, like visuals and audio.
Visual and audio production. So I think that we've definitely learned how to juggle. Like right now we're doing all of the photo shoots, all of the video shoots ourselves. We're doing all of the production. So the skills that we got from Bridgefall Studios, we've definitely been able to implement that into like No Politics and just be like a whole in-house production.
Yeah, and that, as far as like from a business element, it's an easy 50-50 split.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we don't really dabble into the, well, I did this and you did that. Like it's legitimately like, you know, we got hard lines, we got things like that, but for the most part, it's like, you know, whatever, it's equitable. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I can do this, you can do that.
Right.
Sometimes you can do that, I can do this. And like, you know what I'm saying? We just make it work that way. For sure.
It's a lot that we have to do, and we just make sure that, you know, it gets done. I mostly do the visual stuff, he mostly do the audio stuff. So
And shout out to you, Shaun, for influencing Tish to stop trying to sign people to 360 deals.
Hey, man, it got rough for a minute there, but, you know.
Telling people I own you and all your masters, you ain't never getting them back.
I'm going to hold your music just like mine.
Hey, you better read that paperwork.
Right, you better read that paperwork.
My office hours.
Do you have any advice for up-and-coming artists or people who may be on the indie track that are great at what they do and really put in the work but may not necessarily figured out, okay, what are some of the business details and aspects I should be paying attention to, like how much should I be getting paid for a show? Should I have a manager right now? Or how should I, do you have any tips for them on things that is key that y'all learned along the way?
Well, the first business tip that I give any artist is be consistent.
Yeah,
I think
that's
that
what I was gonna say.
In this world, you know, we kind of came at a time where it was transitioning from, you know, real slow, just albums and stuff to the digital age. But like now where we're at, we're in full stride. I think it's important to keep your integrity, but be consistent. You know, I think that's the best thing you can do in business, especially as an artist. Keep your name out, keep your buzz going, and don't lose it because people will forget about you. But I think learning how to register your work.
Yeah.
Understanding what kind of like if you're using samples, understand all of those legalities, understanding those things, and also don't get too hung up on getting paid for everything that you do starting off. I think the most important asset is community, especially if you got the other things taken care of and you protect it. You know what I mean? You got your rights, you got your copyrights, you know, you got everything registered to you and your paperwork is good. You can go out and deal with people and understand what's fair. But community will probably get you paid a lot more than, you know, just chasing a dollar for yourself.
Consistency is definitely number one for me.
Yeah,
I think you should be consistent. Be confident. You know, everything don't have to be perfect. That's probably, we need to take our own advice for real.
We taking it.
Consistency.
But what if you trash? Like, should you be confident still?
Hey, man, you can get better. There's growth. There's room for growth.
That's true.
You got to be confident, but you got to be real with yourself, too.
You do got to be real with yourself. Don't waste your time and your money. But there is room for growth, you know.
For sure.
I ain't gonna tell nobody they trash.
But if you know you trash, then that's something you gotta accept. Legit. No, because it's possible. Like, you know,
you're right.
All art isn't good art. All art can be true. It can be good intention. It can be good for you, but that does not mean that all art is good art. I don't believe that, and I think telling people that is part of the problem that we're having right now with depression and anxiety. But that's another story. I won't go on a soapbox.
For sure. No, I agree with you, because you have people who may start as a rapper or have aspirations as a rapper, but they may be a much better producer, and then vice versa.
100%.
So as long as you kind of explore with, okay, I'm good with this, I'm not good with this, I like to do this, I don't like to do that, that's how you can really figure out, okay, maybe I suck in music in general. And I did a interview, and the person talked about, I wanted to go into music, couldn't rap, couldn't sing, couldn't produce, but I built a business around music.
100%.
So things like that would be important.
Yeah, don't
being
block
a rapper
business.
is not the only way.
Right.
And rappers get paid the least.
Right.
So that's something to keep in mind when you're trying to force yourself to be a rapper and you're not good. Like, you could have missed 2 years of getting some actual money doing something behind the scenes.
How much off a stream?
Man, you get a fraction of
a fraction of a penny
type deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you got to get like to get like $1 or something, you got to get like 1,200 streams.
Yeah,
And like that's not an easy feat, you know, independently. So you know, that's something to consider too, where you can do something else and get paid to even be in a building. You know, so.
And if you could give us a couple of paper routes from my own personal knowledge too, and then anybody watching, what are some of those avenues to making money as an artist? Because like you said, the streams, if you're not Drake or whoever, like they blowing it out the water and have billions of streams and barely get paid millions of dollars for it.
I think that's what's important about building a community, like you said. You know, when you build a community and you build a following who believe in what you do, who are have similar lifestyles, or you know, can buy into your lifestyle, then you can sell them merch. You can host concerts and events. You can do experience-based events and things like that, where you know, they can meet and greet. So there are other opportunities outside of just relying on the stream money.
Yeah, definitely merchandise, and live interactions, whether be it a concert, be it whatever. I think are like probably the two main things that you can get paid for as an artist. But you know, in this world today, where you can get a brand deal from anybody for anything. You know what I'm saying? But that come with being consistent, and that come with, you know, having a community that supports you and can get you in those positions.
Facts. Yeah. Facts. And then so You've Got Time listening party coming soon /
it's on the way.
Interactive experience.
It's on the way. Yeah. That's definitely like the thing that we've been emphasizing, you know, behind the scenes. Like, you know, we don't want to just drop and go away, which we've done in the past. Like, really sit in this project, get as much as we can from it, creatively, and also just interact. Like, that's a big thing right now, is like getting in touch with the people.
You about to have another moment.
I had to say that about to be 3, man.
You about to have another moment.
Third strike you out, man.
You about to have another moment. One thing I thought about, still thinking about the business aspect of music. I remember when Tish, you dropped The Curve. I think that was your very first independent project.
First and only.
And with that, I remember you were real adamant about, I am going to sling these CDs literally out of my trunk. And I want people, even like we're still streaming platforms was popping in or beginning to really rise, but you said no, like I want people to physically touch my music. What's some lessons that you learned from that and going that route?
I learned that for one, I loved meeting the people who like wanted to take the time to listen to my or support my music journey or whatever. Like, I think that it's very important to do that, to make those physical connections, to actually talk to people, to sit down with them and see why they even are interested in your journey. That was the most important thing for me, was to just like literally meet people before I put it on the streaming platforms and a bunch of people just listen to it. But yeah, to actually take the time out and meet those people. My car broke down during that whole journey.
That was crazy.
Literally, I was out somewhere delivering a CD to somebody, and my car broke down on like the last delivery.
Wow.
But yeah, that was very important to me, because like I said, you said I almost made it.
Petty Van.
I come from that time though. You know, I come from that era, the Master P era. Like I thought that was very important to really just get out in the streets, do like some guerrilla marketing or something like that. So yeah.
And Shaun, did you ever do something similar to that? Because I want to say maybe like around that time. I remember both of y'all was doing a lot of shows, but I remember like you were really like adamant about like, okay, let me try to get out here more and do some shows. Yeah,
when I was doing shows, that's mostly when I was connecting. Like, I always made it a point to like show up before my slot and stay after I got off stage and connect with people and talk to people and, you know, pick up my tools and fuels and really connect and talk to people. And I think that's what I did. I didn't do anything like what Tish did. I wish I would have. That was a great idea. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I was more so just trying to, you know, hey, you dope. Like, hey, let's work, and really try to work. You know what I'm saying? And there was a lot of times I didn't work, but I felt like that individual connection has always been big. So yeah, that's I was mostly doing shows, trying to get my name out at the time, for sure.
And it's crazy, a lot of those people from that time who like bought my physical CD, they still hit me up, DM me like, when you dropping some more music? You know what I'm saying? That's the type of connections that matter, like that mean the most to me. That, you know, these people who really invested in what I'm doing. Yeah.
And I'm glad I got the physical CD, because that way I don't have to try and bootleg it off the internet, because I don't even know.
Hey, you know somebody was literally bootlegging my CD?
Wait.
Remember I told you that? Yeah, he was selling DVDs and had like the music or a music video like at the front of the DVDs.
Was it your music video?
It was.
Oh, wow.
This
That's
was
how
in,
you, that's
this
how
was
you
in
know
like,
you made it. That's how you know they bootlegging your music videos and your music.
I ain't mind though, cause I'm like, oh, whatever. You getting the word out.
It's free
That's fine.
pub, yeah,
Right.
Free publicity.
Yeah, it was in Highland Park. He just
So your stuff probably on Tubi right now.
Man,
hopefully.
hey, Tish an underground legend. You know what I'm saying? Quiet as kept, for real, for real. That run was iconic, for sure.
It was.
That was
it
iconic.
was. Now it's time for a new one.
It's time for a new one.
It's time for a new one.
We on that.
Yeah.
Tish had made a very good point earlier as far as the premise of You Got Time and people that are in our age group, the late 1900s, baby. And as far as them thinking, like, you know, even at this, you talk to an older person at a very early stage in life for us, they'll feel like time has passed them by, they're getting older, opportunities have passed them by. Do y'all have any, from y'all own learned experiences in life, what would you kind of like say to those people who might be stuck, don't really know which direction they might want to go with certain things? Could be music, could just be career or entrepreneurship, anything, but like that's like around our age. Like, what would you kind of say to them to give them a nudge or a push in the right direction?
I would say just do it. And not to simplify it, but like legitimately, I think you know, one way my therapist put it to me was like, yo, you know the outcome of not doing it hurts. So like, what's the worst? You know, what's worse than having nothing and not feeling good? You know, at the very least you did it. You know what I mean? You worked towards something, you engaged, you're entertained, and you sharpen his skills, and you still have a potential to make it happen if you're going, you know what I'm saying? I think on a project, one of the lines was the pain of having one foot in is worse than never having anything.
Right.
Like you just, you know what I'm saying? Like, like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you own that, if it's on your heart and you want to do it, like that thought of just kind of doing it hurts way worse than just letting it go. So if you're not gonna do nothing with it, then just let it go. But if you want to do something with it,
Just do it.
just do it.
You gonna overthink yourself
Just go.
out of it.
One step
you
at a
know?
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I definitely need to heed to that as well. So definitely got some free game myself. So I want to know what is on the horizon for y'all as far as this particular project. How do you plan to continue to circulate the music amongst your community to others? And then also, what do you kind of see in the future for No Politics, if you gotten to that point yet?
Do we be looking that far ahead?
well, for the album right now, we doing visuals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Press hasn't been on our radar. We appreciate you extending this offer, man.
Absolutely,
That's love.
yeah.
You know
Our
what I'm
first
saying?
stop.
Yeah, for sure. And but you know, we just trying to not put so much pressure on, you know, following the rules and just get more so into the nature of how it used to be when it's like, you know, I'm just gonna upload this, I'm gonna see what's up, you know. You're gonna shoot these videos, we're gonna upload them, see how people take to it, and really connect. Like we say, like, you know, in-person interactions, events, things of that nature.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, hopefully, you know, y'all will see more of us in the next couple months.
Yeah.
Months.
yeah, and I think down the line, just bigger productions on our end, more collaborations. I would like to see us, you know, pivot back somewhat into similar to what we were doing with Bridge Fall, just more so for artists from our stance. And you know, I'm producing more, so I've been working on producing for other people, but just bigger, more of what we've been doing. You know what I'm saying?
One step at a time. Growth. You know, I think that one thing that our theme has been to just like continue to move and continue to grow. You know.
Yeah.
I'm curious, as y'all start to work with more people, I know that y'all are intentional in terms of like the energy and the people that y'all be around. How do you kind of like being in this type of business or just in general, kind of like vet out people or situations in terms of like working with more people? Because I know that was like a thing for y'all in the past where it's like you don't want to just be inviting everybody in a circle, but I think at least like talking to Shaun, like realizing, okay, I'm going to have to, you know, venture out in different spaces.
Yeah. I'm a natural to myself type of person, homebody.
Yeah.
I love to make, you know, interactions with people or have different relationships with people. I love working with people. I know you do a lot of collaborations when it comes to music.
Yeah. For me, if I'm gonna reach out, is because I'm a fan of what that person's doing. Like I'm not really one that I just want to reach out to somebody just because they popping or whatever.
Right.
Like I've had those thoughts and whatever, but for the most part, if I'm a fan of what you're doing and I think we could meet together on some work, I'm down for that. But as far as people reaching out, I mean, it depends. Same thing. Like if they send me something, I'm like, oh, this hard. You know what I'm saying? I'll take part in that music or whatever.
Yeah,
or,
we've done a couple tracks in the past year.
Yeah.
We've done 2 tracks. We did Fresco Bundles.
Oh yeah, that's bro. That go without saying.
That don't count. That's fam.
We did Fresco Bundles, and we also did Roxwell.
The homie Roxwell, man, he really dope. That was the first home team feature that we did for somebody. So we appreciate that. But nah, man, we just open. You know what I'm saying? If it's a good vibe and it's love, then
yeah.
Got you. So somebody hear this interview, they hear the new project, they hear your other stuff, they want to tap in, they want to follow the journey, they want to do a collaboration. How can they reach you? What's your info?
So I'm at No Politics Tish on Instagram.
Carlo No Politics on Instagram.
With the underscores though.
No, I got them out.
Oh, you did?
I got them out. I don't know how I got them out. But I got them out. But yeah, no underscores on anything. It's Carlo No Politics. TikTok, Instagram, and
send us a message. I think we're open for sure.
We building, man. For sure.
Bet. Hey, well, I appreciate finally getting this interview together. Like I said, Shaun already been on the show, and then Tish is the elusive one. So allegedly, but but no, it's always great talking to y'all. Love seeing the journey, love hearing the music. I'll listen to it on the way here. Listen to it the first day it came out, like I said I would, and I'm vibing with it. I like it. So it's definitely a solid project, and a real good project, and a good listen with great messaging. So make sure that y'all tap in with that. And for everybody watching, I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.
That freestyle coming.
Freestyle coming soon. Freestyle coming.
Freestyle coming.
All right, y'all. Peace.